My day is complete already because Randy Turnquist showed up. Oh my God. From Soquel, California. How are you, man?
Well, pretty good. Good to see your face and glad to be here.
Yeah, you're looking good. Probably every 4 or 5 weeks, I do a session called Freeform Friday. And Freeform Friday is a chance for anybody who shows up to bring their deal, their situation, their opportunity, their question, and we talk about it as a group and I guide the discussion. Today, one of our members brought in a real estate flip deal that she recently completed. We laid out all the numbers and I showed the group how to measure the rate of return using time value of money. The other thing we did today was I rolled out and laid out the architecture of the new 2026 Does It Pencil courses. So that's what we did today on the Does It Pencil webinar. Chris Callan, are you back from your crusade?
What crusade is that?
Well, you're on this big trip and you're taking all these people around and making all this money and stuff. And
Oh, I'm doing that again this weekend. Another week. I'm doing Saturday out in Port Hadlock and Port Ludlow and Sunday in Cle Elum again. So,
oh, you're just going back on tour. That's what you did last week.
yep, same people, more homes.
Okay. Well, shit, you're getting stuff done, man.
Today. It's a pretty exciting day.
That's great. So you're going to flip me that $20 you owe me, hopefully?
Yeah, with interest.
Yeah, right. Okay. So I know Christine has a question. Does anybody else have a question or a burning desire that they want to cover this morning? Well, I guess you get all the goodies today, Christine.
Look at me go. Because I need to do this. Okay. So I bought the property. Ready?
Talk about being a digital man. I'm going to use my HP 12C because I'm actually hosting this webinar off of a hotspot where my HP 10B2 is living. And I'm syncing my camera off it so I can see it. It's my monitor. But I'm ready. Go ahead. What do you got?
All right. So I purchased the property for $260,000.
Okay.
Okay. My financing fees, 10,000, or financing with hard money loan. I did a hard money loan.
Yeah.
Was $10,384.
I'm just going to say 10,000.
Yeah. And my carrying costs are were for my two payments I made $4,400.
Per payment?
No, $2,200 per payment. I've only had to do two payments.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. And then insurance. Now I'm going to get reimbursed most of this insurance, but did you know when you insure a vacant property for 1 year, they make you pay the full year, $4,300 a year for homeowners insurance.
Oh, it's going down.
Oh, really? That's cheap? I was like, what?
That's a
Like
joke.
$800 a year.
Insurance.
So
We're all paying it, and it ain't going to get any better.
So I'm going to get reimbursed quite a bit of that. So
Okay, well, then I'm not going to count that as a cost.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So let me kind of guide the discussion here. Did you have any construction costs, rehab costs, things like that?
Yes, I do. And I'm going to back this out really quick because I have everything together on my spreadsheet like an amateur.
Well, we're going to get you to be a professional here one of these days, huh?
Yeah. Oops. All right. What? Two minus the 10, 385 minus the 22 equals. So I have 11,993. So let's just say $12,000 into labor materials for what I did to the house.
Okay. Have you sold it?
Yes, 335,000. And not paying any commission because I sold it myself.
Jeez, Christine, I don't know if we can do this. Okay,
Why?
I'm sorry. What'd you say again? Three what?
335,000.
Okay. And as a percent of the gross sales price, what were your closing costs with title insurance and transfer tax and all that stuff? Like 2%?
Yeah, 2.25%.
Okay. Can you give me a number on that real quick?
I don't have, that's the one number I don't have in here. So
I'll do it. So it's
335.
335, 2.25%. Okay, that's $7,500.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope. That's it.
Okay.
Oh, well, utilities, but we're
Just a couple months worth. We're not going to worry about that.
exactly.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do on the fly here is just open a new spreadsheet to summarize, and then I'll do some time value of money voodoo.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So I'm going to start at the end and work back to the beginning. So I'm going to say that her price, sales price, was the 335,000.
Oh, your screen's really blurry.
Really?
There we go. Now it's good.
Okay.
It just took a minute.
It has a small hangover this morning, apparently. I don't, but it does. Okay, and I'm going to go to loan fees for 10,000, and we'll just call this PMT for her payments, 4,400, and rehab was 12,000. And closing costs were 7,500. Okay. Let me do a quick save on this. Okay, so you borrowed this money, and
Yes.
how much down payment did you put in?
Well, I borrowed 221,000, so my down payment was 30, what's that, 39,000?
Okay, so you bought it for 260.
And my total loan
borrowed
was
how much?
221,000.
Okay. Yeah.
221,000.
Okay, so the down payment was 39,000. Okay. So take a look there, everybody. Is this correct? Is that the way you guys see it? I did a total here of her costs at 33.9.
Really blurry, Joe.
It's just going to take a minute for it to upload.
Yeah, it
I
might
think is
be.
what's happening.
it
There we
might-
go. Now it is.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, so I'm going to subtract the 33.9 from the 335. And if I make that negative, I can just add those together. And so in Excel, I have my menu bar set up to use the sigma function here just to add stuff. Okay, so this is basically your gross profit.
Right.
Was the 301,100. Okay, and then I'm just going to put down below here your payoff of your note because it was interest only, right?
Correct.
Okay, and that was 210, correct?
21.
221.
221 is
Okay.
what I borrowed. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Good. So this would be your net profit. of $80,100. Profit. So top row, I put the gross sales price. I put all of her costs and fees here at $33,900. I take that away from the price. Her gross profit, excuse me, is $301,100 minus loan payoff. So her net profit is $80,100. All right.
Nice.
So what we're trying to understand here. Oh, it's going to get better, honey. You're going to be super happy here in just a minute. So
Okay.
what we're going to do is time value of money to measure her rate of return. Okay. So I'm going to come back on screen here for a second. All right. So the thing to remember about when we do this time value of money, and I don't have an overhead camera, sorry, I'll open a Word document and I'll put the key presses down for you. But this is an appreciation problem. And appreciation is always what we call one payment per year, which is a part of Does It Pencil Course 1. We cover it exhaustively. But you guys haven't had it for a while, so I'm just telling you, it's one payment per year, okay? So when we solve for this, we're going to solve for the rate of return on investment, the ROI, over a 12-month period. Because it's just the way that I do it. There's probably a way to make the angel dance on the pinhead a little more accurately, but I have a way that I'll clean it up at the end. But we're going to solve it in one payment per year. We're going to assume that it is a 12-month rate of return. However, approximately, Christine, how long did you own the property from beginning to end?
Two 2 months and 2 weeks, so 2.5 months.
Okay, so what we're going to assume then is she owned it for 25% of the 12. 3 months. Make sense?
Okay.
So when I get her annual rate of return, that's a 12-month number, but actually it occurred over 3 months. So what I'm going to do is mathematically at the end, I'll multiply it by 3, whatever it is, to annualize it. And that will give the 1-year rate of return on equity or on investment. So the first thing you do is you're going to press the number 1, then the gold key in the lower left-hand quadrant, and then the payment key. 1 gold key payment. What that does is it puts the calculator into a preset of 1 payment per year. Then you're going to press the gold key again, and then you're going to press the C, and this is clear all. So that clears the calculator. So set it for 1 payment per year, and then you're going to clear it, okay? So one way to look at it is, what if she would have paid all cash? Okay? So what if she would have paid the $260,000 price plus the $33,900? I'm going to show you here the difference with leverage. So let's do it first with all cash. So that would be the price plus the costs. Okay, so that means that she would have paid all cash, the $260,000 price, plus the $33,900 in rehab costs, plus the $75,000, no, that was in there, $12,000 rehab costs, closing costs. Okay, everything's baked in there. So in terms of her cash outlay, if she would have paid all cash, she would have been at, say, $294,000.
Well, but I have the loan fees and payment in there, so I went and had the loan fees.
Oh, I'd have to.
payment
So you're right. I have
my
to.
rehab
Yeah,
costs.
yeah. Okay, so subtract like 14,000. So make this 280,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. You guys are getting a lot better at.
So did you get commission on the purchase?
No. This lady was yeah, she wouldn't let me list the property. I told the story a few
Yeah.
couple months. Yeah, she
No,
She was too
Christine
specific with us.
was painting the picture, flashlight map, lady, you really want to do this? This is a better way to go. You really want to do this? And lady's like, no, 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 no. And finally Christine said, well, fine, I'll buy it. So she did. And now we're on,
That's what I did.
now we're telling the story here. Okay, so she would have paid all cash. Her cash outlay would have been $280,000, and she would have gotten $335 at the end. Okay, so we've already counted in her closing costs here. I mean, you could subtract them from here, add them to here, whatever. It's negligible. So one way to look at this in terms of time value of money is in the all cash scenario, she put down $280,000 and she got back $335,000. Okay, so we'll do that first, the all cash scenario. So what we do here is type in 280,000, and then on the left-hand side of the 10B2, you have a plus or minus key to make that negative, change the sign, and then the top row you tap PV. So you put in negative 280,000 as your present value. Assuming you paid all cash, that's your total cash outlay. That's the present value. 335,000, you put that in next, and then you hit the key that says FV. That's the future value. Then you put in the term, and the way you do that is you press the number 1, then press the gold key again, and then in the upper left-hand corner of the calculator, you press the N. So the way time value of money works is it's find 3, solve for the 4th. So those are the 3. Your last key press in the top row is the IYR key. So I'm going to do this real quick, and then Craig, I'll go over it with you on the 12C. So the annual rate of return would be 19.64%. And that's if you paid all cash. Okay, so that's for 1 quarter. So the reason I said you multiply by 3 is if it was 6 months, you'd multiply it by 2. It would be double. So the way I do it is, if it's 3 quarters, you multiply it by 3. But we can do whatever you want. If you want to multiply it by 4, you'd get just south of 80%. 78.57 annualized. Okay, because again, you solve this in annual, but it actually occurred over 3 months. So you just have to stretch it out over 12 months to express it as the annual rate of return. Okay, but she did not pay all cash. In fact, what she did, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is she put out $33,900 in costs plus $39,000 in down payment. So she put out $39,000 plus $33,900. So she actually put out, I'll just call this total cash. She put out $72,900. Okay. And in exchange, she got $80,100 back. So this is going to be the PV, and this is going to be the FV, $80,100. Okay. So if we take these numbers and put them into our 10B2, it would look like this. So it was $72,900 PV negative. And then this was 80,100 future value. So do it that way. It's 9.88% rate of return. And if we multiply that by 4, it's just about 40%, roughly. Okay, annualized. So, look what happened here. It was actually better in this deal to pay all cash than it would have been to do the leverage. And there's a reason for that, okay? And the reason is time. Because to get the benefit of time, you need more time because it's a longer time that you're leveraging the appreciation. Because this was such a short time in terms of measuring return, it was better to go all cash because it was only a 2-month hold. That's why it's different, okay? But let me ask you this. So Christine, do you know roughly what you're making in your Edward Jones account annually, roughly?
16%. I made 16%.
Yeah, that's about par for this year, okay? So on this deal, you made about 40.
Not bad.
I think it's awesome.
Not bad at all. I'm happy.
She has tax consequences.
Right.
She does. I'm glad you brought that up, Kelly. So because this is a flip, it's treated as a short-term capital gain, which means it's added to her ordinary income in the year of sale.
Yeah. But when I sold my rental, I also had to pay the reclaim tax and all that too. So yeah, I had to recapture the recapture. So I'm just paying. But you know what? It's better than, my money sitting at 16% too. So
Yeah.
You know, what I was going to kind of finish with here is, and I taught the negotiation class yesterday, so we talked a lot about my magic word of expectations. You know, if you're making 16, which is great, and suddenly you get a little blip on the radar at 40, you're happy. Would you do hard money again?
Oh yeah, well, I've worked with this company. They actually give me money to buy for other investors to buy at the auction. Like I can get money the day of the auction. So I've worked with these guys for about 10 years. They're very easy to work with. They make their money, they have to make their money, and this is how they do it. Um, if I had all cash, I would only do all cash, but I don't have that kind of money that I can just. I mean, all my money is tied up, except for what's in
Yeah, no, it's
my
fine. It's totally
portfolio.
cool. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that at
yeah.
all.
So I have to do hard money. It's 4 points that they charge for the underwriting, but they have an administration fee and they have this fee and they have that fee, and and the funny thing is um they have a fee for doing a market analysis. I'm the one that does all their market analysis, and they charge the fee for doing it. And I was like, really? Because I do all their market analysis for any of the projects that they do around here. And so that kind of cracked me up. I was like, really, Justin, you need to waive that because I'm the one doing it for you. But
Send them a
anyway,
bill.
yeah, I know, right? I don't get paid near what they charge, let me just say. But yeah, I'm gonna have to up my CMAs for them.
Because
Agreed.
we've had the conversation here about people that are doing stuff for no money, and you got to do a certain amount of giveaway. But I just want to make sure I kind of raise my hand and go, we got to be mindful of where that line is. Because some of us just are doing too much for free. It's always been that way. So, well, good job. Congratulations. You've done your task to make the world a better place this month, and you made a 40% profit in the process. So good for you. Okay, I want to talk to you a minute about the new Does It pencil. I put a handout in the chat, so if you wouldn't mind just grabbing that, that would be awesome. And I want to just kind of go over with you what my idea is here. I've talked to a couple of you about it. Thank you for your input on that, guys. And I'm not going to go through every single little thing that I've written here, but I want to kind of just present to you the broad stroke and then get your opinion, okay? So the current version of Does It Pencil, which is 4 courses, I wrote during COVID and shot a bunch of videos and re-edited and put it up, and it's had a good run. You know, it's been good. And as everybody knows, my primary customer is the real estate industry because that's where I cut my teeth and I've worked there forever. But it's a different day. It's a new market. I've talked to clients around the country, and as a general comment, education is down. Pete Cullen told us that it's estimated this year through NAR they're going to lose 250,000 licensees. A part of that is probably just attrition. A part of it, I think, is just people abandoning NAR for reasons that we're not going to talk about today. We all kind of know it's there. So it's just a different day. And I've been offering Course 1 and Course 2 together for $199 a piece. It's a $400 deal, which, you know, people take it like, oh, it's totally worth it. And I've had people say you ought to charge more. I mean, I've had that forever. But it's still a barrier to entry. So what I want to do in the new version is this. I'm going to take what I call the core principles of Does It Pencil, stuff we've talked about on this call: time value of money, income and expense, cap rate, internal rate of return, just the core principles, and melt those down again and put them into like an 8-hour conversation. All right. Now, everybody here knows you sit there and do this for 4 hours. In the 5th hour, people are just like raising their hands going, I'm tapping out, man. I'm done. My brain is overloaded. So I'm going to present this in 2 4-hour sections. Okay. So if I get hired to come into an association, we'll do one day, one the next day. If I do it on Zoom, same thing. So it's going to be 2 4-hour deals. And where this is going in 2026, if I'm lucky and good enough, is that I want to have pre-scheduled 2 presentations a month on Zoom that people all over the country can join. Okay, and I think once we get traction, it'll work out pretty well. But that's going to be what I call the foundation course, 8 hours, fairly generic in its presentation. And the reason for this is a part of the reshaping of Does It Pencil moving forward is I want to make this available to more than just real estate people. I want to take these fundamentals in understanding how money and finances work and reach a larger audience, okay, of other licensees and also just civilians, you know, non-licensee people. And then I've talked for a few years about also making this available to kids. Okay, well, not like 5-year-olds, but, you know, like 15, 16 up to about mid-20s, that range, because nobody is telling them this stuff, and we all know that. And I checked IDs today. Everybody here is over 16. So that is a group that I want to go after as well. So the second part, the second section of Does It Pencil is going to be a series of specialty courses. They'll all be available in the online space. They're all video-based. But I'm going to have one for real estate, one for taxation, one for CPAs and CFPs, probably one for investors. I can't remember if I said tax, but one for tax stuff and one for kids. So we'll have a handful of these adjunct courses that are designed to go with the foundation course. And what happens in those short courses is those are all specific applications. That's where we do all the story problem stuff. Okay, and that way I can do the course design fairly generically, but then also offer the specialized training in the online delivery system. Okay, now some people have said to me, oh, well, what if I have a question, this and that and everything? Well, we'll have a separate, like once a week workshop available for people to come in, and all we're going to talk about is the coursework. That'll be available to anybody who signs up. Okay. And then the other part of this is I want this to cross-pollinate. And what I mean by that is if you say, okay, I'm in, I want to do this. Okay, you're going to take the foundation course. So you sign up for a Zoom session, as an example. You're also going to get a free ticket to go to take the online course. Okay, you're going to get a free ticket for that. Similarly, if you take the online course, you are going to get a free ticket to join the Zoom courses. Okay, so you can do it either way, both ways. If you like just sitting in a room by yourself and doing stuff, you can do it that way. If you want to be part of the conversation, you can do it that way. And then we'll have the separate once a week deal where everybody gets together and we'll do this kind of stuff. Okay, so that's the idea. I want to put it out to you guys and get some feedback. What do you think?
So I think actually breaking up the courses like this is a smarter way of doing it, because the way that it has been done, where we have all these, and look at us now. We've all been taking this for a while, and still without a lot of practice and being able to repeat it over and over again, it is not. It hasn't set with me. I mean, I understand it. As soon as you start going through it, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I get it right here. But I think that those being able to break it up and where you're going through the examples and specific examples for people is a wise way of doing it. That way people can focus exactly how it applies to them so they can learn it better.
Well, you're right, and thank you for that. And anybody who's taken Desert Pencil already, you have access to the Alumni Center to all this stuff online already. Of course. You know, yeah. I was talking to one guy last week. He's like, "Oh, dude, I love Desert Pencil, but I still don't get it." We kind of went through the conversation. I finally said to him, I go, "How much time have you set aside just to practice?" He goes, "None." Oh, well, what do you want me to say, man? The nice thing about a webinar is that this is a structured event. Okay, you come, you're going to do this, and with small exceptions, you're here to do this, and that's what it takes. You know, people ask me all the time, not all the time, but sometimes, like, "Oh, how are you so good at this?" Because I do it all the time, and that's the only reason. I'm no smarter than anybody. I just picked a couple of small things. I'm like, I'm going to be really good at these, and that's what I do. It's the only reason.